Hello, everybody. Today I have with us our embodied tech expert with Team Body Mind, Miss Carly Clark Zimmer. And we're chatting about, why your tech and your marketing, like why embodiment is the key to your marketing. And this is something that I am so passionate about. And I think what's interesting, Carly, is obviously she's on our team. You're also a graduate of this program. And I think you kind of fought me in this, like, what do you mean embody your tech, embody your marketing? What? Just tell me the thing to do. So we wanted to have a conversation today because one thing that I see, and I'm curious your perspective on this as well, Carly, is as holistic practitioners, wellness providers, we want to help people and we love helping people, and we're so connected and embodied, and we know the power of our physiology, and we live and breathe that in our work. And then there's marketing and like we lose ourselves. So and it's stressful and it feels fake and awkward and gross. And so we just wanted to talk about this because one of our core tenets in Body Mind is we want to make a worldwide wave of difference through embodiment. And we have to market to do that. Mm-hmm. And I think in our community, it's time that we kind of flip the script on what marketing actually means. So Carly, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This is such a interesting conversation, right? Because as healers, holistic practitioners, we want to connect with people. And that's what you basically taught me, is like marketing is that connection, but we're taught like on a surface level that it's like manipulation and all of this. There's like all these tactics and stuff like that. But really, when we bring the embodiment into it, it's connection. Yeah. And there's healing in connection. So I think when you can ground down into your body and actually trust that, right? Marketing, and I've become a total like marketing nerd on it now, because it's like there's so when you are marketing yourself in an embodied way, you're connecting with people so that you can help facilitate their healing, helping them heal themselves, right?
Yeah.
So,
and I love that, because I also, what I heard in this, is like your marketing is a tool for your healing, because I think, yes, there's this connection, and you get to, through connection, get to meet prospective clients and have conversations. I think another key of marketing is that it's a conversation. It's not a one way, let me tell you, it's a let's connect, let's talk, let's engage. But I do think that there's a lot of healing for practitioners in marketing, because there's also this whole thing of like, being seen and being who you are and putting it out there.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And so, right, like people all the time, they're like, I need to refine my messaging and I need to refine my ideal client. Like, who am I serving? And if we look at it from a different perspective, from an embodied perspective, we're actually getting really clear with ourselves first. And sometimes that feels vulnerable, like who you actually want to serve. And then putting it out there is the other part that becomes really that healing process of, I know for me, it was, I have something to say. And is it okay if I say it? Mm-hmm. What are people going to think if I actually say the thing that I want to say? Yeah. So that's part of that healing process. And this is where the cool embodiment and wave starts to happen, because as you put your true self out there and your true message and who you really want to help, not the people you think you should help, those people that you're meant to work with actually come to you as well. So it is this beautiful wave that you always talk about.
Yeah. And it's, so what's showing up for me as you talk is I think one of the misconceptions, and part of the reason why, in Body Mind Coaching, Carly is there throughout the process as our members are embodying this work. we want to have that ability for them to put the tech pieces and like the marketing pieces in place. So we believe and trust and teach and follow embodiment first, and then you put those structures in place. But one of the things when you talk about this vulnerability, I think people hear this and they're like, yeah, that makes total sense. And then when you go to do it, what we see over and over again is it's like, just tell me the thing. Just tell me the system. Just give me the system and all the tech and set it up, and I'm going to do all that. And then I'm going to be myself.
Mm-hmm.
So like in thinking of the tech, like this truly is a question of mine. How does that process look as far as knowing what tech and systems to set up from an embodied state? Like, how is that different? Do you know what I mean? Because I think there's so many, I see so many programs out there. You and I have signed up for programs, business
So many
that I personally never finished, or like I would, you finish them because you're a high fact finder systems person. I would like go through them and I'd be like, this is great, but this doesn't work for me. And I over and over again that people are like, just tell me the thing to do.
Yes.
And they do it and it feels so inauthentic that they don't love it. They do it, it gets them a certain amount of results, and then it just stalls out, or they don't even do it at all. Like, and they keep buying these like $1,000, $2,000 programs, like it's the thing and allow me to be the thing that I get to be. And then I can actually say what I want to say and do what I want to do, versus you're saying something totally different. So can you maybe kind of describe that process? I hope.
Yes, I will try. By the way, my nose always runs when I get on Zoom. I don't know why. I'm just like, it just starts pouring out. Must be a nervous kind of like when you start sweating. Okay, so this happens all the time, right? And especially in the online space where like a new podcast comes out by, we won't mention any names, but right. And we're like, I need to do that thing. And it's just, and I fall victim to this as well, right? Maybe I should. A day challenge or a summit, or
I'm going to do all the things. The shiny penny. Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
I need a new opt-in, or I do a quiz, or like, or a podcast. And this is where, if we don't have that foundation of embodiment, which is what the Body Mind Coaching Certification Program teaches you, true embodiment. And I was just talking with one of our ambassadors about this, right? It's so easy to go looking outside of yourself for the answers. Now, some of these strategies are fantastic.
They are. There's nothing wrong with them. Yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah. And knowing yourself and knowing what feels good, and we talk about all the time, like the leaning forward and the kind of, I don't know, like knowing that really in your body, like, oh, a 5-day challenge sounds really exciting, right? Then we can take the strategy and start to apply it in a way that's aligned with you. But if you're just looking for a 5-day challenge is the way I'm going to fill my group program, and no, like that, it's missing. And this is why there's the online marketing, I think, is very loud, because there's a lot of people who can say, this worked for me, and now you do it and it will work. And people they buy these programs and then it doesn't work and they think there's something wrong with them. Yeah. Meanwhile, they may not have gotten into that true embodiment of, who do I actually want to work with? And what's kind of system or structure or framework feels really good? And how do I want to share that message?
Yeah.
Right? Like maybe I want to do a podcast and that's the only thing that I want to do. But then everyone else is saying Facebook and Instagram too, and all. No, like just do the one thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's, I'm remembering when I used to work with a mentor who was like, and there's so many ways to market, and there's all sorts of tech out there. And I worked with a mentor who's like, you need to launch. And I did a launch and I hated every single second of it. Mm-hmm. And then I remember, just thinking about how do I love to show up? What's easy for me? Like I love to teach. I love to step up here and just talk. And for me, learning how to do webinars was so, it just clicked. It was like, oh, this
Mhm.
allows me to express who I am. And it felt really good. And, that's why we have free trainings, because I love them,
And
now.
why you do Facebook Lives all the time. And that's your marketing because it's authentic to you.
There was a bit of a like, I've now done enough lives that I'm okay. I mean, it's we have a 5-hour time difference. I just woke up. I'm still drinking my coffee. Like I'm now at the point where I'm like, just turn on the camera and let's go.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, you bring up a good point. One thing that I continue to learn in my marketing, and I see, I think this is what's so cool about Body Mind is especially, the camera turns on and it's so easy to disconnect from ourselves. It's so easy to be like, hi, I'm Laura, and I'm perfect and I've got it all together. And, my intention every time I do a live, every time I connect with amazing people like Carly, I really want to like let the layer of that presentation mode be as thin as possible. Like I'm trying to literally be as much of myself. I mean, I hope Carly will tell you, what you see is what you get. Like this is
Oh,
just,
hell yes.
I'm not trying to pretend to be somebody. And I think that that's another thing of like that perfection, that professional perfection.
Smart enough, say the right thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It just, and especially for people who are here with a big vision to help people in their heart, I feel like all too often these unhealthy beliefs, these blocks in marketing, and I did a conversation with Michelle, our heart-centered sales expert, around selling and money. Um, it, the beliefs that you have around marketing right now that are stopping you from showing up, like they are literally robbing the world of your greatness,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah. And I think so there's this marketing phrase that I'm sure people have heard. It's if you're talking to everyone, you're talking to no one. And I think what's really interesting about holistic practitioners is when we start our businesses, right? Both of our backgrounds are in massage therapy. It's easy to see everybody, right? And that everyone comes in and yes, you can book a massage, and then maybe you start to weed out a couple people, but still, there's not really that um, polarization of like, this is who I serve and I don't work with these people. And then when you become a coach, that's actually what you want, right? You want to start that you want to start to stand for something,
Yeah.
and have those beliefs. And I think that's why it can be really a challenge for holistic practitioners to move into like, no, I believe that your, just an example, like your thoughts cause stress in your body,
Yeah.
right?
Say that.
And I stand for that, right?
Well,
Whereas, yeah, go ahead.
also to stand for, I'm intuitive. Like I think
Yes.
so many practitioners that are scared to say that they are intuitive. Have
Yeah.
you seen it?
Yeah. Or that they feel energy
Yeah, yeah.
because that maybe your background is in the medical massage or, like chiropractor or stuff like that. And it's so interesting, right? When you actually start to share what you really believe in, that's when the marketing starts to click. But we're so afraid of like losing people or saying the wrong thing.
So just as you were talking, the other thing that brought up is like, so yes, we both came from the massage world. Like everybody needs your services and you should be available and work and make it convenient for the client and don't charge too much and like keep your rates low for the one person who can't afford the high rates, and then you suffer through everybody else. And then, but there's also the flip side of that. Then you get the people that are like, I have to niche down and I have to know this person. And until I know everything about this person, I can't, whatever. And they get so hung up on ideal client and niche and the right words and the right phrases. And what Carly is saying is like, you want to know like how to find that is to be yourself and say say how you want to show up and how you want to work and what you believe in. And like, that can only come from your embodiment.
Yeah. And this is where the body mind coaching program comes in, right? Because the members come into the program, and you were just sharing this yesterday, right? There's so much of an undoing that has to happen in order for you to allow yourself to say, like, actually, I want to support this person over here who loves Reiki and believes in energy and believes in all of that stuff. And it's a profound process that you will go through, right, in the program, and a life-changing one. And my husband was just saying last night, like, wow, it's been a handful of years, and look at all of the changes that have happened because of this embodiment piece, right? It's not, yes, it's some of the business stuff, but it is the I mean, that's why you brought me on as the embodied tech expert. It's not because I knew all the stuff.
No, because you practice your embodiment and you're good
Which I still work on, by the way. That's still one of my like things that I get to move through, right? That it's allowed for my embodiment to be enough.
Yeah. And you know, this is embodied mind coaching. You know, we coach you, we teach you how to coach, and then we teach you how to create and sell your coaching programs. I mean, so we know that as you are learning this work, and Carly is so right, so much of what we teach is actually an unlearning process. You know, as you're learning the body mind method, as you're experiencing the body mind method, and you're going through our process, we know that as you live this work and then have this support of, oh my goodness, I was, you know, I was living in this embodiment, or I was breathing and grounding into my body, and this idea showed up. I want to do a PDF. I want to do a workshop. I'd love to offer this. We have Carly in the team and on the team to help you say, oh, like when that idea shows up, here are the things that you can put in place to make that happen. That is how we live. And so much of why I've structured it this way is because all those little courses that you take that say, here's how to do this business thing and this marketing thing and write the emails and all the things, like, yes, I know the template in the moment, and the here's the 5-step process and all the things. I know in the moment it feels good. It makes your head happy because it says, this process, if I do this process, I'm safe because I don't have to be myself.
Mm-hmm. And someone else is just telling me what to do.
Yes.
And it's going to work.
You actually become disconnected and disembodied. And what we teach is, yes, we love those processes. We know those processes between our team. We've done launches, we've done challenges, we've done webinars, like we have the email copy and all, like we know those structures. And because we start with embodiment, what happens is, what I want you to walk away with is, I know how to find myself,
Mm-hmm.
to get clear on what I want to say. And then I know how to put the structures in place for that to be amplified. Because my intention is 1 year, 5 years, 10 years down the road, you know, when you have an idea, you know how to put the program together. You know how to put the marketing out there. You know how to sell it, because that's going to give you life beyond the time that you work with us. It's going to help you, like to me, these are the fundamentals of a long-term career. And
Mm-hmm.
you know, those little things like those email scripts, those are going to last a little time, and then you're going to have to go learn something new, instead of, this is who I am, I'm going to embody this, I'm going to put it out there and let that be, like, that is the engine of your growth. And I think I think so many of our members, like, we say this and you might be hearing this, like, that's interesting. I really encourage you, like, is there a part of you that's like, oh, like, do you feel something deeper? Because I think a lot of people get this and then they come into the program and they get this.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, how many times have we heard, I thought I was embodied until I joined the program. Now I really know what that means.
Yeah.
And we also have some frameworks and templates and stuff like that for you. But the thing about body mind, even with the market research process, right, and the business foundations, don't just take those questions. It's like, read the questions and put them into your own words. How would you actually say this? This is a framework that you can use to kind of get you going.
Yeah.
And then, right, if that question doesn't land for you, how would you say it? And people fight us on this, right? It's like, you don't have to say it that way. But that's the perfectionism coming up of, well, these are the questions that are on that spreadsheet, so I have to ask them this way.
How did you, and before I ask this question, I just want to say this is also what's brilliant. So when our new members come into Body Mind, we give them this market research to start with immediately before we even kick off our time together. And what's so cool about the market research is it's actually how you can start selling and making money as soon as you step in. But I don't want to go down that road. I want to ask this. Tell me a little bit about your journey. Like, what clicked for you to get this? Because I know you're brilliant. You've always been brilliant. I remember meeting you and looking at your website for the first time. I was like, oh man, she's amazing. Look at her website. She's so beautiful. Like, you very much had the I've got it together piece.
Oh.
And also seeing how you've grown and shifted, and like, I have a feeling your husband's walking around right now.
Yes, he is. Working from home, right? Yeah. So when I came into Body Mind, like, I might have looked like I had it together on the outside, but I wasn't making offers. I wasn't like putting myself really out there. I was following the framework of the program that we met in, and like, right, it still wasn't embodied. So I was like really busy in my business, but not making hardly any money. And then the embodiment, when I came into Body Mind, the shift was, I'm willing to try. I'm willing to try to trust myself. And like, that willingness to trust myself and trust in the process of embodiment was the thing that started to connect me with these clients. And yes, it has shifted and it will shift, which is why we teach you, like, the embodiment is the basis. So as you continue to grow and shift, I was talking with Heidi yesterday, right? Heidi Micho is one of our ambassadors. And we were saying how, like, once you graduate from Body Mind, you will join other coaching programs and you'll try on different strategies, right? But Body Mind, we can come back to that and say, yes, no, this is for me. This is not for me. And like, in these other circles that we're in, that isn't missing.
Yeah.
In these, like, very high earning business owners. And they're wondering why they get burnt out and why their businesses aren't built in this sustainable way.
So true. And it is really interesting to see, sorry about that. Burn off. It is interesting to see, now that Body Mind has been around for a while, like that blows my mind. Watching the evolution of our coaches, because, we work with holistic practitioners, and what's been interesting is we have coaches who are doing tech. We have coaches who are doing, who are holistic practitioners and realize that they are creative and are now doing graphic design, like embodied, intuitive graphic design. We have coaches who are taking this work into hospitals. We have a coach who's doing this work in halfway houses to help women get back on their feet. We have coaches who are working with CEOs, entrepreneurs, and helping them embody this work. And it's so neat. Again, this idea, I think this is just coming to me, and I hope this makes sense. I think we have it backwards. I think it's like, let me get this figured out, right? And let me know it all and have the framework and put it there, and I'll have it all perfect and figured out. And that's going to be the path to let me be successful and, be myself. And it's like, we want you to know yourself, trust yourself, because who you are is glorious and brilliant. And we want to like peel back the layers to let that be what the world gets to see. And that's where you find your niche, and that's where you find your offers, and that's where you find your strategy, and that's where you find all the structures and support to put it together. Like it's I think people go out thinking that eventually they'll find them, and we want you to go in and know that it just expands.
Yeah. And if you know yourself, that can take you as far, as deep, as high, whatever direction you want to go. Like it can take you, the potential is just literally unlimited. And yes, in the beginning, sometimes it can feel like it's taking a while, but it's because you're getting to really know yourself. And that takes time. And it takes time to undo those patterns and then start to build those new neural pathways and trust. And then once you start to really trust it, boy, does that train get moving.
Yeah. And I think at that point, like the marketing and the tech and the structures actually become fun. Like
they do.
Like all of a sudden, you know, I think when we talk about like ease and like, you know, letting it be easy, you know, when people are like, do what you love, la, 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 like people are like, oh, let me get the framework first and then I'll do what I love. It's like, you know, when you start following this, it's literally like, oh, like the email pours out of you, the webinar just flows, like the program is so simple. And you're still putting effort into it. So what's been your experience with that?
Oh my goodness. So yes, things do take effort, right? And there's ways to bring your embodiment into that effort, especially if you know that it's like, I just need to put this one piece in place, not that I have to put these 5 million pieces in place. And I think that's the biggest part of it. And also this, what I love to teach about tech is managing our expectations, right? And we think that I'm going to sit down and in a half an hour, I'm going to do this thing. Right? Meanwhile, we've never done the thing before. And the story, yeah, the story I always tell is years ago, I was working on my website and I was really struggling with this thing. And my husband, Devin, is a tech person. And I was like, I just need your help with this thing. You know, I got to that point where I actually asked for help. And he got in there and he's like, and I'm like, come on, you just have to like do the thing. Like I knew what I wanted to have happen. And he said, I need to learn the system. I need to Google how to do all these things. And like, he had to learn it. And it just like was this light bulb moment of, oh, I'm not bad at tech. I'm just really freaking impatient. I just am taking that and making it mean something about myself. Instead of everybody needs to Google, everybody needs to watch YouTube videos, everyone needs to learn how to do this.
I learned, I mean, I put together all of body mind coaching via YouTube. Like that was how I learned. But let's just address this and then we'll wrap up. And I want to say that I'm going to quote this for myself. Embodied effort creates ease. That land, I think that lands.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I do think there's a belief that I'm bad at tech. I don't like to market. Like the bad at tech, we hear it all the time. What would you say to somebody who's like, oh, this all sounds great. I'd love to help more people, but I'm bad at tech. You know, what do you want to say to them?
If you got on the sailboat for the first time, would you say you're bad at sailing? It's like, you just don't know it yet. You don't know how the sail moves. You don't know, like it's just a new thing that you get to learn. And when you make it mean something about yourself, those are the walls, the blocks that are going up, and it's going to make it harder.
Yes, so good. I'm sitting here, my son is 1 year old, so he's like learning how to like, you know, feed himself, and like he misses his mouth all the time. Do you think he's like eating? Like he's trying. like all the times he crawled and as he tries to walk, if he fell down, like, oh, there's a, where we do our retreats, there's a sign that says, if we all gave up after the first time we tried, we'd be sitting in diapers right now.
Yeah, exactly.
So please just, what's so amazing about Carly and why she's on Team Body Mind is because she really does help you embody this, help you embody what you want, and then set up the simple tech systems and the marketings, all that stuff to make it happen. And I think that's what's so great about our program is we literally do this inner work and have the support as you implement and put it out there. So I so appreciate it. Is there anything that you want to share as we wrap up today?
Just that if you don't know anything about the tech stuff, right? I too I didn't know what an email list was. I didn't know landing pages. Like that is part of my role in the program is tell me what you want to do. What's the embodied thing? And then we can help you guide you towards, okay, what you might want to be creating is this landing page, this opt-in, right? So it's instead of like, I need the thing outside of myself, we want to go in, what is the thing you want to create? And then we have, as a team, the expertise to say, great, this sounds like the thing that you want to do. And we'll guide you into how to make that happen.
So we do have the resources and like she said, the training.
So many.
But Carly is here to help you say, how do you want to feel? What do you want this to look like? And then we can start helping you put the pieces together in a way that actually allows you to live in your alignment. That's how we operate. And that's honestly how I run my company is feels good. And then what sort of things do we need to put in place to do this? Yeah, and it's amazing. So if you're interested in learning more about body mind coaching, you can go to thenewbodymind.com and learn about the program and schedule a time to talk with our team if you're interested in applying. So it's all there. And also I think this is just what makes it so brilliant is that the processes and how it's not the process. Like there's something different. We hear it all the time. Like, oh, like when the moment it lands, it's like, oh, I get how this is a different way to think about this. And it does take a lot of the undoing that Carly has been talking about, and it opens the door for so much more freedom for yourself, your business, how you support your clients, how you serve. This to me is, I wish every entrepreneur knew this and every practitioner. Because it gives you the freedom and the ability to have a healthy and wealthy career, not just in the time that you work with us, but for the lifelong, for your life, for your career.
Yeah. And just like you can take it once you have that embodiment piece. And I know we're going to wrap up here. But you can apply that to anything else that you do. And that's what you're talking about in our graduates who've been out of the program for a year or 2 or 5, right? Now they're starting to apply this embodiment process to businesses or aspects of their business that seem so different from where they came in, but actually it's like every time you talk to them, oh, it's actually that thing that I've always kind of wanted to do. It's amazing.
Every time. And we also, it's so interesting because I know you mentioned Dev, and we hear a lot of like husbands and partners and spouses are like something starts to shift in them.
Oh, yes.
It's really cool. So so thank you, Carly, for joining me again. If you want to learn about body mind coaching, thenewbodymind.com, and there's details there. So
Thank you.
Amazing. I appreciate you. Thanks.